That match has finished Brentford 2, West Ham 0. And before I go and basically give you my appraisal of the game, got to say, I don't really care. I honestly don't care. I think David Moyes did the right thing. But that being said, just because he did the right thing, I'm not going to say that players that played poorly played well. But I'm absolutely fine with it. I think our priority absolutely was Thursday night and the second leg of the semi-final in the UEFA Conference League, the long-named UEFA Europa Conference League. That had to be our priority. It really did. So he rested today, and it doesn't matter. I was going to say it didn't work. I guess, look, the proof of the pudding being a tasting. We win the Conference League. That worked today. I don't blame him for doing it. Would have done, I was going to say exactly the same, almost exactly the same myself. Certainly would have rested the players that he rested. That being said, it was an opportunity, I felt, for a load of players to come in and prove their worth and maybe play for a place and force their hand, force David Moyes' hand and say, oi, you, play me. Or, make me a consideration for the second leg of the semi-final. And I don't really feel that too many would have done that. I think the notable inclusion, having a start, was Maxwel Cornet. He was awful. I mean, he really was awful. As I said, don't overly concern me the way it happened, but I mean, I would have expected rusty, not a problem, not lasting the whole game, not a problem. But this was pretty bloody awful. I do think it's hard for anyone to operate within the confines, within the parameters of a completely changed team. I really do. I absolutely get it. I think it was difficult for him to do that. But he didn't do it. If that was his audition, he flunked it, basically. He will not be a consideration for the European game. He couldn't, and he really shouldn't be after that performance. There wasn't a lot of drive in the team, I have to say. I think if I'm looking for it and thinking who was really sort of driven and really determined in it, Fabianski, Ogbonna, Johnson, maybe Emerson to a lesser extent. I'm not saying everyone played well, by the way, but they certainly, those players did have the desire. And a bit of energy in the game. There was a bit of energy lacking, which was funny because I felt we'd sort of rested our tired players. Brentford were better. Brentford deserved to win. Fabianski made some really, really good saves in the game, and we probably, definitely without him, we would have lost by more. That being said, he could and should have done far better for the first goal. The first goal was, I felt was a mistake by Aguerd again in the similar way. Do you remember when he sort of had too much confidence in Thomas Souček and he passed the ball out to him? It was very, very similar. Not a carbon copy, but very similar. This time, obviously, it wasn't Souček, it was Flynn Downs. And they scored from the resulting turnover, if you want. I also thought their second goal, which was a header from Wissa, wasn't it, from a throw-in. So I do think, I might have this wrong, but I think we might have conceded 4 goals against Brentford in the league this season, and possibly 3 of them have come from throw-ins. I might have that stat wrong, but I won't be a million miles away. Another throw-in. They were causing us bother with their throw-in routines. Wissa headed it in. Aguerd should have done so much better. He had one of those games, Aguerd. I'm starting to get used to it now. I think you're not getting an awful lot in the middle from this guy. And it will be interesting, actually, because I've got my... I'm not going to go through it now. I'll go through it at the end of the season. We've got our player ratings here. And I do wonder if I go through that, he's either brilliant or atrocious. And in this one, he was atrocious. I thought he was really, really poor again. He wasn't the only one. Not by a long chalk, by the way. But it was pretty poor stuff. And you could... maybe not totally blame him for both goals, but he was involved and takes a portion of blame in both goals. But it was a pretty stinky performance from him. Oh, but actually, before I go any further, talking about player ratings, if I would like to point you towards our Julian Dicks offer at the moment. Myself and Gio are popping over to have a private signing session with Julian Dicks. We've got some really good stuff there. We've got some Cantan and prints. We've got Julian Dicks books. We've got some Julian Dicks signed shirts. They'll all be authenticated. We will take pictures of it when we're doing it. Pop it up on the social media and whatnot. Links in the description below. If you go to hammerschatstore.com, use the link in the below, take you through this /Julian Dicks. But honestly, just when you click on the website, you'll see where to go. Just something that might be of interest to you. By the way, if you're a patron, if you're a Hammers Chat patron and an addict, which are top tier, you get a lot of money off. You get 30% off, including all. We get it anyway, including off Julian Dicks stuff. So, for instance, £150 retro Julian Dicks signed shirt. If you're a Hammers Chat addict, you get £45 off. So, anyway, check it out. The links to both the Patreon and the store are in the link below under the screen. So that was nice for Aguerd, not particularly great, and he wasn't the only one. What can I say? Well, I feel terrible about Pablo Fornals. I almost did. I almost went up and looked at his passing stats before doing this video. I thought, do you know what? I actually just felt mean doing it, so I didn't bother. I don't, almost want the figure to be out there, whatever it is. It was pretty bad stuff. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a little chat about Pablo Fornals maybe in tomorrow's video, because I feel a little bit sorry for him, really. No doubt about that. Flynn Downs, I felt we didn't release the ball quickly enough on a lot of occasions. There were times when, I know it's an easy stick to beat Flynn Downs if he doesn't pass it forward enough. But he didn't in this one, and that's the truth of the matter. I'm a big fan. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a good future. I think he's going to be a good Premier League player. But it wasn't so much not forward. Just didn't release it quickly enough on occasion. Souček was pretty poor as well. I mean, Souček would be the only one in the team, you would say, from the sort of established David Moyes' favoured first choice 11, who started, or maybe him and Fabianski. It was not great from him, and to be fair, he almost gifted Wisser a goal as well. He was brought off the pitch. I'm sorry, 80 odd minutes. Probably longer actually, but maybe it's 58 minutes, something like that. I think he was brought off then. Rice came on. We were a lot better then. More importantly, Lanzini was better then. I think Lanzini struggled, didn't really have any impact on the game. Lots of them didn't have impact on the game. But Lanzini looked better when Declan Rice came on. I'll tell you who else looked a bit better when Declan Rice came on, and that was Flynn Downs. Not because Declan Rice came on, that was because Saïd Benrahma came on for a bit of supply, but also Mubama came on, played next to him, which was really nice. I was unlucky, actually, he scored a goal. Danny Ings scored a goal. It's unlucky for all of them. Unlucky for Lanzini, who should have had an assist. Unlucky for Mubama, who was unlucky, I thought, to have it ruled off for handball. It was his handball in the build-up to it. And unlucky for Danny Ings, who had, I called it a sacrificial lamb role up front, which is what he had, which is basically Danny Ings playing in a David Moyes one-up-top system. Doesn't work. It's awful. It's absolutely awful, by the way. And he just looked a lot better when he had a partner next to him, and it was no surprise as soon as they put a winger on the left wing in Benrahma, who was going to supply something, a striker next to him, and sort of change the composition of the midfield, that he gets a chance and he scores a goal. Ruled out for offside, for handball. A bit of a shame. And again, it just Lanzini looked better because he had people to pass to and whatnot. Brentford deserved to win. Absolutely deserved to win that game. They really did. But at the end, I think I was grateful for it just being 2-0, because even right at the end, Fabianski made another save. He was responsible for the first goal, partly responsible. Could have done better. But he made a really neat double save before half-time. And then I think it might have even been as late as 92, 93 minutes. Made what I thought was a really, really good save. Another header again, actually. They were causing us all types of bother at Brentford. And I guess we're a little bit lucky that we didn't have our... that Ivan Toney wasn't playing, because that could have been a lot worse for us. But I'll go back to what I said at the start of the video. I'm just calling it as I saw it. Overall, I'm not bothered. I don't blame David Moyes for doing what he did. It's just, the second string team didn't play particularly well. And just because I'm pleased that David Moyes rotated, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Fornals was brilliant and Aguerd was brilliant and Cornet was brilliant. They just weren't. They were bloody awful, quite frankly. So, so there you go. Onwards and upwards, I think it was a stroll in the park for Brentford. I'm not saying they took their foot off the accelerator at 2-0, because that's why Fabianski made that late save. I think they were still trying to win it. No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. They're still trying to increase it, but they weren't putting everything into scoring more goals, Brentford, as much as they might have liked 3-0 and whatnot. Overall, It's a good game. It was just a game. It was a game of football. That it did have that pre-season friendly vibe about it. It didn't matter massively to us. We don't really know what's going on with Leicester until they play. I think they play Monday, but we haven't done our goal difference a massive amount. But let's be fair, no one's thinking about it. I mean, by the time we get to tomorrow morning, no one's going to be thinking about this game at all. We're all going to be looking forward to Thursday. Second semi in 8 days, 7 days, 8 days, 7 days, 8 days, whatever the bloody hell it is. There's a couple of semis, which has got to be a good thing.